Part 2 of fitting in while mixed. So when I left off, I was talking about the rape phone and why I brought all this stuff up about movies and fitting in and stuff. And the thing with fitting in while you're mixed is that if you're not really hanging with mixed people, then non-mixed people, and I'm trying to say this as professional as possible. I want to word it so that it doesn't offend people. I want to put it out there because a lot of people just don't know. If you're not mixed, you really can't walk this journey. You really can't. Uh, Rock probably can describe it. Tiger Woods can probably describe it. A couple of other people who can describe it because they're mixed. I know who they are, but I can't remember their names. I can't remember the movies they're in, but I know who they are. They, Mark Dacascos can describe it. But for the most part, if you're not mixed, like literally, if you get up in the morning and both your parents are the same color, I really can't call you mixed. All right? I mean, you probably are, because if you're born here and you're American and you are of black ethnicity, it's a good percentage that you either have white or Native American ancestors as well. Some of us just have more features than others. Because if I pull the picture out of my dad, he looks straight black. If I pull a picture out of my mom, she looks straight white. If I pull a picture of my grandmother Ada, oh, you can tell she's all Native American. All of it. She's every bit of Native American. So, you know, if you're not mixed, this journey through our lives doesn't really affect you like it does us mixed kids. Because when you're mixed, you know, um, you kind of stand out like a sore thumb. You really do. Uh, there are places where I don't stand out like a sore thumb. If I'm in a room with a bunch of Hawaiians or Mexicans, people will think that I'm one of them. I know this for a fact because one time I got hit in the ass in my little green machine by Mexicans. And the funny thing about that, no one was hurt. And I was going to get my sister from Burger King. This is before I threatened the manager for the second time. And it hit me right at the light. The light was red and it had turned green. And before I could take off, I was hit. It's like, boom! And I'm like, what the fuck? And these Mexicans jumped out the car, and I'm like, damn. Not only did they hit me, they about to whoop my ass. So then I jumped out the car. And we both looked at the damage. They just like bumped my bumper. It did more damage to their car than mine. And they got to talking Spanish to me. And I said, hey, hold on. I'm not Mexican. He's like, huh? I was like, look, dude, I'm not Mexican. He's like, you're not Mexican. I was like, oh, you speak English. Excellent. Okay, so I'm mixed. I'm Cherokee, black, and white, and I only speak English. He's like, okay, look. We really don't have our license, and we don't have insurance. So I looked at my car. I looked at their car. I said, well, I have insurance and a license, and you didn't do any damage to my car. So let's chalk it up into this shit didn't happen. We shook hands, we jumped in our rides, and we went on down Fifth Street. So as I was going down Fifth Street, apparently my mom or one of my other siblings picked up my sister from Burger King. So by the time I got to Burger King, she wasn't there. So I got home and I was like, yo, where was you at? She's like, oh, well, I got a ride for somebody else. And I was like, well, I got into a car wreck with some Mexicans. Oh, that was you? We saw you on the way back. I said, and y'all couldn't honk the horn and let me know you weren't there? No. So that shit happened. And I was pretty mad because not only did I get hit that night, I wasted a fuck ton of gas to go all the way to Burger King and she was already gone. That second manager who was there said, yeah, your sister just left like 15 minutes ago. I was like, yeah, well, 15 minutes ago I was in a car wreck at the top of the damn hill. So that was the second thing that made me mad that night, that I got down there and she wasn't there. So then I got home and they drove past me and didn't even acknowledge that it was me. So that made me mad. And later on, and I don't think it was that same year, I think it was like the year after that, I was going to Piedmont again, and they had offered us Japanese, because for performing arts, I needed to take a foreign language class and some other shit that's not gonna matter if it's like for acting, but it wasn't gonna guarantee me a job anyway. And I think had I stuck it out, I probably could have got a degree in performing arts, and that didn't really work out. But what happened was I got into this damn class, and I was ready, and we were about to go to take Japanese, and it was canceled. Japanese was canceled, my acting class was canceled, and I had to spend the money because it was a Pell Grant, or they were going to take it back, and I didn't want to lose my financial aid. So I decided that I was going to take Spanish. Yeah, good move, right? I know you're all looking at me like, what, you're not Mexican? No, I'm not Mexican. And this is where fitting in became another problem. Because when I got into the class, the teacher, who was from Spain, thought I was Mexican. And I made it through most of the class. I was failing that shit big time. And we got to the point where she goes, James, I don't understand why you're even in this class. You should speak Spanish very well. You're a Mexican. And I about shit my pants with laughter and anger at the same time. And I said, well, ma'am, first off, that was a very racist thing to say. Second off, you need some fucking culture because I'm part Cherokee Indian and I'm part black. I'm not Mexican. I'm also part white. He's like, what? I said, yeah. He's like, there's nobody else in this class like you. I say, of course they're not, because not everybody in America is mixed. I was slightly wrong on that. Most black people are legally mixed because of slavery, rapes, pillaging, and all the other negative shit that I don't really want to get into. But this woman just knew up and down that I was a fucking Mexican. And she straight, and I'm sorry that it was offensive, she straight up told me, well, I thought you were Mexican. And it's like, well, I thought you were just a white lady with an accent, but, you know, everybody has an accent somewhere or another. And she's like, well, that's kind of wrong. You do know the answers are in the back of the book, right? I said, ma'am, I can't learn if I cheat. So the only thing I learned in that class was, one, she thought I was Mexican, and two, no habla español muy bien. That's the only Spanish I know. I know how to say I don't speak Spanish very well. So I did learn some Spanish. Not enough to save my life, but I learned, no habla español muy bien. I don't speak Spanish very well. I also learned trabajar means job. No habla trabajar. I don't know. I'm not really good with Spanish. Anyway, if you're taking a language that you really don't want to learn, you're really not going to learn it. Now, had Japanese not been canceled, I probably would have learned a lot of Japanese because I really wanted to learn Japanese and it just was canceled. And it hurt my feelings because I was like, well, I do Kung Fu. I can make a career in Japan if I learn Japanese. However, it was canceled, so I got stuck with fucking Spanish. And I failed at Spanish so bad. So anyway, the people in class thought I was Mexican. And I had to explain to them that I am not Mexican. And so that was like just another one of those sad-ass adventures that we have in life. As I got out of that class, I had a class, I think the year before that, or 2 years before that. I'm not going to swear to it. I know that I had a class in the same manner where I had a group of Asian people in there. And they were from different Asian countries. Um, some were from Vietnam, some were from Korea, and one was from like Laos or Thailand or something. There were like at least four of them. And then there was a woman who looked very, very Japanese, but she actually was Mexican, which fucked me up because I was like, okay. And this is before I found out that Native Americans were Asian. So I was all fucked up when I had to do my report. So I had to do my report on Japan. And I didn't want to offend any of the Asians there. So I talked to the teacher first. I waited till everybody left the class. Yeah, I did it the proper way. Because I'm not into insulting people. And I'll make a video about that between tonight and tomorrow. And I talked to the teacher, and I can't remember his name to save my life. And I went up to him and I said, "Sir, this report that I'm going to do on Japan and karate and stuff, it's kind of Asian bashing. So before I do this report, would it be okay if I ask all the Asian students if they're going to be okay, if they're going to be offended, if they're going to have some feelings about this one way or the other?" And I've had to do this in high school. I'll tell you about that in a second. I had to do this in high school once because I had to do a report about sex. So that's what that was. But so I went to every Asian in the class, and I told them what my report was about, and I told them that I didn't want to hurt anybody's feelings, and that if you were Japanese, I would feel more comfortable if you were not in the room, because some of the things I'm going to say about Japan is really, really bad. Now, it really also depends on your open-mindedness. If you're open-minded, then you know your history, then it's probably not that bad. But if you're not open-minded and you don't know your history, then if you were Japanese, you would have been highly pissed off at the shit that was going to come out of my mouth. So all of the Asians, except for the girl that I thought was Japanese, were okay with it. So I got to her, and I asked her, I said, "Look, can I talk to you for a minute?" And she's like, "Sure, why?" And I didn't know I was going to piss her off, but, I thought she was Japanese. She wasn't. So I said, "Look, I don't really know what Asian country you're from, and I'm going to say some things about Japan that is going to be overly offensive, factually correct, and I don't want to hurt anybody who's Asians who may be from Japan's feelings in here." And she looked at me like I was crazy, and then she said, "You look more Japanese than I do." And I was like, okay, maybe she really does need those glasses, because she looked more Japanese than I did. So clearly we both needed some culture. And she said, "Do your damn report. I'm not Japanese." She said, "I'm from Mexico." I was like, "You don't look Mexican to me." And she's like, "Yeah, stunning, right?" And it's like, "Yeah, you really don't look Mexican to me. I think I look more Mexican than you do." She's like, "Well, here's the thing. I'm Mexican, okay?" And I'm like, okay. She was not tan. She's like no Mexican I ever seen before. She looked like a straight Chinese girl. In my case, she actually looked like she was straight Japanese. And she could be Japanese and just been born and raised in Mexico. Shit happens all the time. People just aren't really aware of that. And at the time, again, I was not aware of Native Americans being Asian. So I did my report. I got a B on it. I even got to bring a weapon to school, which was my wooden sabatu. And I got to do a demonstration of where it came from, because it came out of Japanese karate and Okinawa Kempo and stuff like that. And it was a practice because I did that martial art, and it became the thing. I got to do a demonstration. Yes, I had the class move the seats back a bit just in case flying weapons come out. And I think I brought my nunchucks and stuff in, because I know the nunchucks came out of China, and unless I've been wrong all these years, it came out of China. So to fit in with the Asians, I had to make peace with the Asians. And I fit in that day because I made some serious discoveries. So then later, when I found out Native Americans were Asians, I've always wondered why I feel more comfortable around Asian people. And that would be the reason, because Native Americans are fucking Asian. And it took me a minute to grasp that concept. Because somewhere between Miss Conrad's class and college, I totally forgot about the land bridge and the Eskimos and the splintering into the First Nations and the Native American tribes that goes from the North Pole all the way to the tip of Chile. So, that would explain why some Native American tribes have more slanted eyes and shit like that. And I just didn't know. And my eyes only slant when I smile. So when I'm pissed off, I go on the warpath. I look very Native American. Anyway, thought I was going to say Asian, didn't you? But anyway, so when it comes to fitting in, as I end this video, when it comes to fitting in, you have to first fit into your own skin. You have to be comfortable with your look. You have to be comfortable with other people either accepting you or not accepting you. And that's like the key point to right then and there. And up until like college, and still sometimes in college, I just don't fit in. Hopefully, if you've been watching this video and the other video, I touched on some things that may affect you, and hopefully you'll learn how to deal with it and exclude yourself out of certain stuff. But when you don't fit in, you just don't fit in. So find your niche, and if you are mixed, find other mixed people, because they are more than likely, no matter if they're a boy, no matter if they're a girl, or a puppy dog, or a really ugly cat, they are more than likely have gone through similar experiences, and y'all should be friends. I'm James Williams Jr. This is Kung Fu number 2. Be seeing you.